take a look at what's happening in President Donald Trump's America with respect to visa changes. Well, the administration's latest changes to green card and immigration procedures have triggered anxiety and uncertainty amidst thousands of Indian professionals and students who are currently living in the United States. Now, this new policy was introduced through a memo issued by the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. It requires most non-immigrants, including temporary workers and students, to leave the United States. It also asks them to apply for permanent residency through a consular processing unit in their home countries instead of adjusting their status within America. And this change is coming in even as tech companies are undertaking massive layoffs due to the onset of AI. For the laid-off workers, the time frame for getting a new job is 60 days. Yes, just 60 days. Helping us decode what the situation on the ground is Mr. Ajay Bhutoria. He's the former advisor to President Biden on immigration policies. Thank you very much, Mr. Bhutoria, for speaking to us here on Startup Central. Now, Mr. Bhutoria, we did hear from the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio suggesting that these visa changes are not really for India alone and they are for everyone. But nonetheless, it is a painful period for Indians. It is a painful period for people who are looking for a new job. What is it that you're seeing on the ground in America, particularly? What's the sentiment amongst American Indians?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very challenging time for people who are on visas, especially, as you said, a lot of companies, Meta, Google, they are Amazon, they're laying off. And these people, when they're laid off, they only have 60 days to find a new job or transfer their H-1 visa. Otherwise, they have to leave the country. When I was in the last administration, I tried to change this rule to give them grace period 180 days. This was not implemented. So now they have only 60 days. So what is happening is that in the Trump administration's new USCIS policy memorandum represents a profound structural shift in US immigration, transforming the adjustment of status from a routine administrative step which would happen normally in US into an extraordinary form of relief and administrative grace. And they are shifting that people should go back to their home country to do the adjustment of status. And this is no longer a guarantee of approval. When you get to the adjustment of status, earlier it was, okay, fine, this is guaranteed, people will get their green card. Now it's up to the discretionary or to the powers of the individual officer. They can deny it case-to-case basis. So this could impact, people which are having dual intent visas like H-1B or L-1 is no longer a shield. I mean, meaning tech professionals will face unprecedented scrutiny regarding past status gaps, minor administrative oversights, or unauthorized side gigs, and they may have to go back to the home country. What is not clear from the USCIS memo and the clarification is that how this will impact the existing H-1Bs whose green card process is already in process, and how does it impact the new, and who has to go and when they have to go back to the home country. I mean, if this is implemented, then what will happen is that people who are having on their houses here, kids here, they have to go back to India or China or other countries to do the consular processing, and they maybe get stuck there, they may be denied, and that could trigger a lot of challenges for families and separation.
Right, but now do you think that the current administration is going to give any leeway as a 60-day timeline, that time frame amidst geoeconomic disruptions and, of course, headwinds related to AI is perhaps rather unrealistic?
Absolutely, it's just totally unrealistic. I mean, these days what is happening is that most companies are doing 2 to 5 rounds of interviews, and to submit your resume, get the resume selected through a recruiter, get an interview, initial call, and then next 4 to 5 rounds of interviews to get someone on board, and then the background check. That's not possible in 60 days. So so that is why, I mean, it's a very challenging that people who are getting laid off, either they move to a student visa and transfer to continue their education, or they will have to go back to India.
Difficult time indeed, but Mr. Bhutoria, what is it that workers are choosing and what is the option that they have now?
What I have seen in the past, in the last year, also there was a big layoff, and in that scenario, what I've seen is that that people can transfer from H1, they can go back to full-time student and try and get it as become a student and transfer to student, or they can. Talk to, of course, finding a job and because an employer who can transfer their H1 visas. Also, few people I have known here on the ground that they formed a company and they started their own company as a startup, and they applied their own H1 visa. And these are only few cases I have seen, but that's also an option which people have taken. What I'm expecting, understanding from this administration is that they are definitely trying to keep their MAGA base happy, and by creating these kind of news and things, they are, so they are making their base happy that okay, fine, we are taking action against legal immigrants, we are taking action against Indian Americans, which was rising up, and who have been on front line of doing all kind of work, medical professional, healthcare professional, and contributing over billions of dollars into the tax, into the economy. Now they are targeting the Indian community as a whole. I mean, and these stronger measures of green card are a way to discourage that you come here on H1, you stay here for 6 years for which the H1 was given, and then you go back. So it's not, they are discouraging that it's not a pathway to green card or citizenship, and that's what the administration is trying to move to away from, and show that okay, the intent of giving you H1 is to as a temporary worker, and we are not, we are making more harder and harder the path to the green card.